Right, I wanted to talk briefly about Nintendo's new Super Mario 3D All-Stars thing. The footage you're looking at here is Spiritfarer, just because that's the game I'm playing at the moment. I was going to use footage of Super Mario Odyssey because I didn't want to just loop footage from the trailer or whatever. But then I thought, Mario Odyssey isn't the game I'm talking about, and is it really any more connected to the All-Stars package just because it's a Mario game? And, you know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's not the game I'm talking about. I might as well be using footage of me picking my nose for all it's worth. So rather than that, I think you'll all agree it's much nicer we look at Spiritfarer. Anyway, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars 3D Collection, whatever it's called, will be coming soon to Nintendo Switch, and look, I'm almost certainly going to buy it. And when I say almost certainly, I mean certainly. It's a foregone conclusion. I'll probably end up just buying the digital edition day one because I can't be arsed with all this pre-order anxiety. Will it arrive? Will it not arrive? Have the scalpers already snapped up all the pre-order copies? You know, it's a load of toss. So I'm going to buy it, and I may even play it, and I may even enjoy it. But I'm not happy about it. I'm seriously not happy about it, and let me tell you why. The crux of it is the availability of this game. And I'm sure you're aware by now, but just to reiterate, Nintendo are releasing the Super Mario 3D All-Stars for Nintendo Switch, which consists of a package of 3 games, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy, which will be available from the 18th of September this year to the end of March 2021. That counts for both the physical edition of the game and the digital edition. Annoying. So, why do I have a problem with this? Why is this a big deal? And it is a big deal in my opinion. Look, the most succinct way I can think to sum it up is this. When a game comes out, your decision is you look at the game and you think, am I interested in this? Does this look like a good game? Is it worth the money? You know, what's the value proposition on this game? Do I have the cash right now to spend on a game? Is this the game I want to buy right now? And you're making a decision to buy something based on the merits of the product, which sounds like some bullshit marketing speech, doesn't it? The merits of the product. I actually hated the words as they came out of my mouth there. But that's essentially what you're doing, isn't it? You're looking at, you're like, you know, what's the money in my pocket versus what do I want at this time? And you can make decisions for yourself. And if you're looking at a game and you think, maybe it isn't worth the money right now, you can say, well, I'll just wait, and maybe next month I'll have a bit more spare cash, and maybe there'll be something else, you know, nothing else that I'm more interested in, and maybe I will pick up this game, and it's all of your own volition, what you want to do with your money. What Nintendo are doing with this bullshit, and what anyone does when they make things available for a limited time, the decision is no longer, am I interested in buying this now? The decision is, will I regret not buying it later? That's what you're banking against. It's not like you're not buying something because you see the value in having it now. You're not buying it because you're interested in it. You're buying it to allay, is that a word? You're buying it because you don't want the possibility of feeling regret later on. Does that make sense? Well, it makes sense to Nintendo. They understand it very well. And I could sort of see Nintendo's side from it. I can almost make an argument that this isn't a cynical move from Nintendo. I can almost see that they want something, some product, some special memento of Mario's 35th birthday. I don't know why the 35th and not the 30th, but they want like some limited edition item that you can say, well, I was there at the birthday and I picked this up and it's special because it's limited. But what I would say is, don't make that the games. Couldn't they have just released like a special gold coin that's engraved with a Mario design or something that you can only buy on Mario's birthday or something like that? Something that normal people don't really care about, but that, you know, that like mad Nintendo fans will go crazy for. God, I used mad and crazy there, I apologize for that. But do you know what I mean? Something that I don't want to say hardcore gamers, but like, I can't think of another way to put it. But people who are hardcore into Nintendo will want, but that your average gamer isn't going to be too interested in. Because the Mario 3D collection isn't that. That is something which has mass appeal, which everyone's going to be interested in. I mean, couldn't they just have released like an edition of the 3D All-Stars, like Mario 3D All-Stars Birthday Edition, which comes in a shape, which just comes in a box that's shaped like the cake baked by Princess Peach at the end of Mario 64, something like that. I mean, would it be too much trouble for them to just do that? Something like that, and then like the special edition of the game's only available for a year, and then after that it's the regular edition. That could be a way around it, but something tells me this sort of non-cynical explanation for the limited availability of this game, the idea that they want to make something special for fans to celebrate Mario's birthday. I don't think that's the explanation. I think it is a cynical explanation. I think it's because they want to induce this panic and fear in people. They don't want you to look at this game as a proposition and say, is this worth £50? Am I going to enjoy playing it? Do I have the money to spend right now? Which, by the way, a lot of people don't. We'll just briefly mention, in case you haven't noticed, we're in the midst of a global pandemic, which is showing no signs of coming to an end anytime soon. A lot of people don't have money to spend on video games, which is why this is a massive dick move on Nintendo's part. Let's just flash forward. Let's go. Come on a little. I'm going to sidetrack here, but come on a little journey with me now while I tell you a little story that I've just made up in my mind right now. It's 2021, and some kid's birthday's rolled around, and despite the global upheaval, despite the economic turmoil of our imaginary household, Mum and Dad have managed to scrape together enough money to buy their child a Switch, finally, after years and years. Their little kid is only tiny, he's only a little kid, but they've grown up enough to where they've started playing video games, and their friends are playing video games, and what they really want is a Switch. And finally, they've got one. Let's call it Little Billy. Little Billy's got a Switch. He goes around to his friend's house, he's very excited, because he's got Mario Odyssey with his Switch. And he's fallen in love with Mario. He absolutely can't get enough of the little fella. I love the way he says woohoo when he jumps, and collecting his little golden coins and exploring all colourful worlds with dinosaurs and race cars and things. And it's just the most magical thing in the world. Little Billy goes round to his friend's house, Little Susie. I don't know why they're all called Little something. It's because they're little, right? And Little Susie has got more Mario games. Can you believe it? Little Billy has had his mind blown. He thought Mario Odyssey was all there was, but what's this now? Little Susie's got the Super Mario 3D collection or whatever. And there are worlds more to explore. You've got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy. Mario's got a jetpack that squirts water. Mario can fly around in the stars. Little Billy had no idea. He's very excited. He wants to play this game. So he goes home to his mum and dad and he says, I want to play the other Mario games. And Little Billy's mum and dad are like, the what? The other Mario? Okay. I'll tell you what, it'll be Christmas soon. We'll get them you for Christmas. Little Billy's like, yeah. But then they start looking for the Mario games and they're like, wait a minute, Billy, what was the name of that game you played at your friend's house? Oh, it was Mario. Yeah, we know it was Mario, but what was it called exactly? We've already got you a Mario game. No, not that one. It's a different Mario game. Okay. So they ring up Little Susie's parents. Hi, this is Billy's daddy here. Billy was round at Susie's house the other day, at your house, sorry. And they were playing a Mario game. Do you know what it was called? Little Susie's parents on the phone. Hang on, let me find out. Susie, what's that Mario game you got called? It's called 3D All-Stars, Dad. All right, 3D All-Stars, you say? Sorry, I'm not doing any multiple voices here, so this is difficult to follow. Billy's parents say, 3D All-Stars, you say? Okay, we'll try and find it. And they look on the eShop, they're trying to get it, they're like, are you sure? They ring them back, ring, ring. God, this is really terrible, isn't it? They ring them back. Hello, this is Billy's parents again. Are you sure it's called 3D? We can't find it on the eShop anywhere. Are you in? Have you tried? Maybe you should try get it on like Amazon or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get a physical copy. Yeah, okay. Checks Amazon. Jesus Christ, they want like 200 quid for it. What's all this about? Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. And they try shopping around. They try like HMV, Zavi, Argos, whatever. No, it's nowhere. It's not in shops. It's not online. They can't get it digital. What's going on? And they won't understand. They're just not going to be able to understand. They're going to have to find like someone who's into games to explain this whole situation of like, oh, actually last year it was Mario's 35th birthday and this game was released as part of that celebration and you can't buy it anymore. And then Billy's parents will have to like, oh, so we can't buy this game for little Billy now. He can't have it. No, I'm afraid he can't. And then that's it. You know, that will happen. I guarantee that will happen. Word for word. You know what? Word for word. There's 7 billion people in the planet. Somewhere out there it's going to happen word for word. And Nintendo are happy for that to happen because they're a bunch of assholes. I mean, I've made up a ridiculous situation there to prove my point. But like, and it was such a long story I've actually forgotten what I was saying. It's just annoying, isn't it? And look, yes, that was a very funny story, but I don't really believe that Nintendo have manufactured this scarcity just to make kids cry at Christmas, any more than I believe that they're making this limited edition because they want something special to celebrate Mario's birthday. What I actually think is going on here is that Nintendo likes to keep a tight control on its older games, on its legacy. It's the reason why I think the Nintendo, like the Wii eShop has gone away, because probably because they didn't want to support it forever, but because the Wii had a virtual console, didn't it? You could buy their old games and just have them and keep them there. But clearly that's not something they want to do anymore. About a month after the Switch originally released, I made a video where I was complaining about the lack of games on the Switch. At the time, I only had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was the only game I was interested in, and I really was confused as to why Nintendo why they hadn't come out with a virtual console for the Switch. It seemed like the obvious solution. There were about 5 games available for Switch at the time, and one of them was 1-2 Switch, for God's sake. And it would have been the easiest thing in the world. They've got this back catalogue, a pre-made back catalogue that they could just release and let people buy games and just have something different to play on their Switch. But they didn't want to do that, and I couldn't understand at the time. And I said in the video, I might even drop in a clip here, where's the virtual console? They're probably sat there in their offices going, what are we going to do about the virtual console? I bet they're quaking in their boots now, because hasn't the Switch got an account system now? So Nintendo is now thinking, if that's the case, if we sell someone a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3, it's the last time we can ever do that, because then it's tied to their account, and how can we ever justify doing that again? So it's like, oh no, we're not going to be able to make as much money as we'd like to, because we're a bunch of greedy that they must be racking their brains at Nintendo saying, what are we going to do about the virtual console? Because we've got this account system on the Switch now, if we sell someone one of our old games, we can never sell it to them again. That's it, they'll have bought it, they'll own it. So what can we do? And since then, we found out what they can do. What they can do is not sell the games. So there is a measly, a tiny, pathetic collection of Nintendo and Super Nintendo games on the Switch. I say pathetic, it basically contains most of the games you'd be interested in playing, like Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Super Mario World, which is basically what anyone cares about. But you don't own those games, you can't buy those games. What you have to do is subscribe and become a Nintendo Online member and keep paying Nintendo money. So that way, you get to play the games, Nintendo gets your money, but they don't have to give you ownership of the games. It's the dream, isn't it? It's what every company wants. What everyone wants to be Netflix these days. Even Disney is starting to say they want to move away from physical media, maybe concentrate on their Disney Plus and whatever. You can see the attraction of it, can't you? And to a certain extent, I'm going to go off on a sidetrack here and distract myself. And to a certain extent, I can sort of almost buy into the model myself, because the idea, I don't know why I'm so keen on owning something, but I kind of am. Even though I know nobody can own anything forever, because at a certain point you die, basically, don't you? No matter what you believe in, no matter what you think, no matter where you think you'd go after you're dead, chances are you can't take your iTunes library there with you, you know? So what are we all really asked about anyway? I think what it is the idea that something that's better for companies is, generally speaking, not better for the people who are interested in purchasing products. They don't want to describe us as consumers, though. I guess that's what we are. So that's what Nintendo wants, and I think the reason why this Super Mario 3D collection is a limited thing is because Nintendo don't want to sell these old legacy games. I think they find in their minds that they have greater value trading on nostalgia, and that's what the older games have got that newer games don't. Like, a new game can't have nostalgia, really. It can evoke nostalgia, but it's not the same kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? As something which is old, which genuinely has nostalgia for someone, and they think they want to bank on trading on that infinitely in the future. And I think that what's going to happen, the most likely thing, is that this 3D All-Stars collection, is like Nintendo begrudgingly offering a one-time deal to its fans. It's like, okay, this one time, for a limited time, we're going to let you purchase these older games and have ownership of them in some capacity. But we really don't want that, so it's going to be for a limited time. And then after that, if they resurface, which they likely will, I think it's going to be part of their Nintendo Online service. They're going to roll it into that so that you can keep giving Nintendo money in return for access to these games, but you'll never be able to own them, so in a way they can continually sell them to you and you can keep giving them your money. I think that's what Nintendo wants. I think that's the way they're gonna go, and it just makes me sad. Like I said, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure why it makes me so sad. You can't keep hold of anything forever. Everything eventually breaks, everything eventually, you know what I mean? Things stop working, they get lost, and people die, you know? You can't keep hold of anything forever. What am I talking about? Where am I going with this? But I guess I don't have to be happy about that, do I? I just think it's a poor showing from Nintendo on this. I think it's a very regardless of their actual reasons, it just comes over as a really cynical, wrong-headed move to make this thing a limited run, to limit availability on this game. You're basically strong-arming people into making a decision, into saying, in a time where money is tough for a lot of people, into saying it's like, look, give us this 50 quid now because this is it. This may be your only chance. And if Nintendo does have plans for these games in the future, they should tell people. It's wrong of them not to tell people, because, and the reason they're not telling people is because they want, you know, they want the situation that we've got right now, which is uncertainty, which is like, is this my last chance? I don't know. That's what they want people to be thinking. And it's strange, I'm talking like I know what's in Nintendo's mind, and like Nintendo is an individual and not a company, like that I can read Nintendo's mind. But all I can do is make assumptions now, because Nintendo's said nothing official, the bastards. Whatever. I just think it's all wrong. And Nintendo, I'm especially disappointed in Nintendo. They shouldn't be resorting to these kind of tactics. And that's what it is, it's tactics to get people to fork over their money out of fear. Because Nintendo make good games, they make excellent games, they make some of the best, you know what I mean? If they just put out their games, people buy them. But somewhere along the way, someone's decided that's not enough. They resort to these cynical ploys, and I really thought Nintendo, or I expect Nintendo to be above this stuff, but apparently they're not. And it's just sad, you know? It's really sad. Anyway, I look forward to playing the Super Mario 3D All-Stars on the 18th of September, when I will undoubtedly drop my £50 and have to feel bad about it on some level. Ridiculous. Maybe I won't. Maybe what I should do is take that money and then just search out some indie project, you know, like, and pick that up instead and give my money to someone else who deserves it instead of these assholes at Nintendo. But the problem is that I've been playing Mario my whole life. Ever since I've been playing games, I've been playing Mario, so I do have that nostalgia and I want to play these games. And Nintendo knows that, and they know it's true of so many people. And here we are, being coerced into giving Nintendo our money now, not because we feel like it's a good deal, but because we're afraid we may never get the chance again. And even though it actually is a good deal, you know, when you look at it, it's not a massive bargain, but it's pretty good. And that should be it. That should be reason enough to buy it. But I'm going in circles, aren't I? But look, here it is, in conclusion, right? If Nintendo pulls this bullshit and it works and they get away with it, they'll do it again, won't they? In the future, there'll be more limited edition games. There'll be more where it's like, okay, you can buy this, but only if you buy it now. And it's 50 quid or whatever it is, or maybe even more expensive. But now's your chance. Do you buy it or do you let it go forever? And if Nintendo's done it once, they'll do it again. And if Nintendo have done it, then maybe Sega will do it, and Activision might do it, and Konami might do it, and Ubisoft might do it. Although I'm never buying a Ubisoft game again as long as I live, you know. And more people will start doing it. It'll become a normal thing. And the driving force for buying these things will be fear. Ridiculous. Well, clearly it's better for us if games are sold on their own merits, if we're buying these games, and I love games, I love playing games so much. They're amazing. I don't want to go off on one, but they are amazing for so many reasons. And the impetus to buy a game should be because it's a good game, because it looks like something that you want to spend your time with. It looks like something, and because your time is so precious, so what you choose to do with it is important. And you shouldn't have to make decisions of like, because you're the way, oh my god, the way most of us acquire money is by selling our time. I work in a shop, or I did do before all this bloody kicked off, and basically what I'm doing is selling my life an hour at a time to this company, so that I can have money in exchange and then use that money to do the things that I like, which it turns out is playing video games. So I should be making my decisions on what I'm using to spend this money on based on the merits of the things that I'm buying, not based on my own fear of missing out on something because it's only available for a limited time. You absolute bastards, Nintendo, you shouldn't be doing this. It turns out I feel much strongly about this even than I thought originally. But I'm going to stop talking in circles. I'm going to stop this stupid video now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I expect better from Nintendo. We all should as well. And not just from Nintendo, but from everyone. Maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe something will come out of this. Maybe, I mean, best case scenario is that the 3D collection goes away, and then they sell the games individually, and like, maybe it costs a little bit more to buy them, you know, something like that. But I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.